Okay, I'm a dumbass. I thought I was live already. Hi. I didn't hit go live and I'm just sitting here like talking to myself. Can you hear me or see me? That would be great to know. We're off to a great start, aren't we? Oh man, Ansu, you're another breed of human. Yeah, I was just saying before I went live that I was tweeting out that we're live. Hopefully, some people might join us and we can talk about The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. And yeah, we are in double booked right now, so if you're interested to talk about it, then we'll get into it soon. I'll just give it a minute for people to kind of show up. Someone might be here, like I don't even know. No. Wait, what is going on? I'm literally so confused right now. Cause like I'm trying to like open it up on my phone. Wait, what? Yeah, okay. I think it's working. Pretty sure it's working. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway. Cool, cool. All right. How did you guys like the N.K. Jemisin book? Okay, this is actually the second book that I'm reading of N.K. Jemisin, so I must say I like this a lot more. Um, yeah. Who is you? Can I get started? I don't know. Can people see me? That's like the best question to ask, I guess. Okay, we're going to talk about it anyway. Okay, so I personally gave this book a 4.5 to 5 stars. I don't know. Like at first, when I first finished reading it, I was like, maybe it's a 5 star read because, like, especially like in the beginning and stuff, I was really enjoying it. So someone's here. I don't know who's here. Anyway, um, so yeah, the first bit when I was reading it, I was really enjoying it, and so I thought it was going to be more of a 5 star read. But towards the end, like the way that the book kind of ended, I felt like it would be better off for me to give it a 4.5 to 5 stars. I'm not really sure. So hello, how are you doing? Um, yeah, so we're discussing about the CDV became. So if you've read the book, that'd be great. We can talk about it. um, so I was just saying that I was really enjoying the book, especially the first a good chunk of it, and then it started to get to the end. I felt like it ended really quickly. At least for me, it ended really quickly. I felt like a lot of things didn't feel like it wrapped up. I know it's a trilogy; it's the first book of a trilogy, but at the same time, I wanted it to have more stuff in it. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I was thinking for a while. But um, yeah, overall, it was just a really fun book. I really enjoyed it, and the characters. Oh my god, I absolutely loved a lot of the characters. Um, so if you know about the book, we have like 6 souls to New York City, and like you know how what's his name? Manny. Manhattan was just such a wonderful character to me. I absolutely adored him as a character. Um, I, I don't know. The way that he was kind of portrayed in the book, it was just a lot of fun. Um, he kind of forgot everything, right? So I was just like, oh, like I wanted to know more about him and hopefully get an understanding of like what he is like as a person, or city, like whatever. But I want to know more of his backstory, like what happened to him. I thought that was a lot of fun to like explore, but I guess they will do it in the rest of the books in the series. But yeah, right now it's just like I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I am like really interested to know what happens with Manny. So each of these characters have like little powers, I guess, right? Because they have the souls of the city in them, and I feel like each of them have like really cool powers. For example, like what's her name? Brooklyn? Was it Brooklyn who had like the rapping thing? Like she was a rapper. Was it the rapist? Oh my god. Okay. Brooklyn was this rapper person who could connect with the city just because she rapped. I don't know. And I thought that was like a cool power to have. Like she was like walking with her heels and whatever. And whenever her heels clicked, like the bad guys were basically running away from her. That was cool. I thought that was really fun to read. And then there was Bronx, I believe, was the arts person. Oh my god. I know that it's said that she's pretty old, like she's in her 60s, I think, or older, like something like that, right? She's pretty old, like whenever she sits down or something, she's like, I can't move anymore. I thought that was really funny and really probably very relatable to a lot of people. And because of that, like the diversity of it, the whole situation was like a lot of fun to actually see. Um, Obviously, N.K. Jemisin is like known for her diversity, especially in this book. You have a wide range of different people, and I thought that was just great. um, what is it? Like we have black main character, we have a Hispanic, I think, a South Indian, like a wide range of people. I don't know what like I forget what Bronx was because I know she's supposed to be like an arts director person, but I thought she was black, like a black American. But in like a later scene in the book, I was just kind of confused. I wasn't sure if she was actually supposed to be black American or not, but I wasn't really sure because I thought she might have just been like another race of person, but I couldn't figure that out. Um, I'd like to know like how many people have actually read the book as an audiobook because I did, and I was just like so thrilled that I actually read it as an audiobook, listened to it as an audiobook. It was, in my opinion, so good because the even though it was not like a full cast, like I wish it was a full cast, but even so, it just had this what is it? What is the right word for that? The way that the audiobook was kind of set up was just beautiful. I absolutely adored the audiobook. I just thought it was really well put together, especially with the, what is it called? Like the sound effects. I don't know words anymore. So the sound effects of the whole audiobook was just so cool. I don't think I've ever actually seen anything like that in any audiobooks prior to this, like having a lot of sound effects and stuff and making you feel almost immersed into the story. That was really cool to have. Yeah, I really adored that audiobook. I think you should listen to it as an audiobook if you didn't really like the whole book in general. I've actually heard a few people who said that they were not huge fans of the book, and I was like, yeah. Although, what is it going to say? What was it going to say? Jesus. Okay. I think it was great as an audiobook. Hello, Miss. How are you? Yeah, as I was saying, with the audiobook, the sound effects and everything was just top notch. Absolutely adored it. What else? There was, you know what confused me though? It was towards the end. Like we actually see Manny kind of infatuated with New York City in a sense. I think that was supposed to be his power, but at the same time, I was just like, what is this? Like I can't tell. Like, are you like romantically gonna get involved with the city? But I don't know. Like that would be fun to see, but I can't tell. It felt like Manny kind of knew the city in general, and I didn't know how. And I wanted to know how, right? But I guess, like in the whole trilogy, once the rest of the books come out, we'll figure out what happened and how he is kind of related to the city or how he knew the city already. Maybe that's just his power and that's it. And I guess that's good to see it that way too. But I'd really love to know like what what his power is, what happened in his past, how he was actually as a person in the past, because everyone else has like a backstory or some kind of family that they're talking about or friends that they're talking about, except Manny, because he completely forgot about his past life. And we're really seeing that he's kind of getting into this point where he's being violent. Like he knows he was a violent person, and he's talking about that occasionally right now. And I was just like, ooh, but like, well, what were you like before? I would love to know about that. So Manny, I just thought was such an interesting character, and I would love to know more about his whole backstory and his whole life into the future. That would be so cool. What else? Bronx. Bronx is the art director person, if I'm not wrong. And okay, her characterization was just so cool because it was told that she was an older woman, like maybe in her 60s or maybe even older. I kind of forgot. But anyway, she's said that she's kind of older. So the way that she's depicted, loved it. Also, that little like friendship thing that she has with Vanessa, I thought that was so. Is that her name, Vanessa? Okay. Anyway, I thought that was just so sweet. Like their relationship together, like it was really, really sweet. She at some points have actually said like, I wish she was actually my daughter. Like I wish Vanessa was like my daughter. And I thought that was just so sweet. Having someone like really care about you that much enough to think of you like as a daughter. And that's so sweet. I love that. Also Vanessa as a character, when you think about it, you're just like, why is she important? Because she's not technically part of the city, right? And I was just like, okay, like, but still, she was being talked into a lot of the situations, and she wanted to be a part of this whole. It's not a heist. What is it called? Like this whole event, right? She wants to help them all come together to help New York City survive, I guess, against white. So she's like really trying to help them and stuff like that. I thought that was really sweet of her at first, but obviously we get to know more about her later on, and I thought that was. I'll get to that in a second. With Brooklyn, I just thought the relationship that she had with her own daughter. So you know that she's like a rapper in the past, and she's turned into a politician, but her daughter is in her teens and clearly is like, oh, you're a mother, you're not cool enough for me. And I thought that was really nice. It was really well done. It was well put together, that character as well. But to see that at first, Brooklyn's daughter was like, I don't, like, where are you? There was a scene that Brooklyn's daughter calls Brooklyn and she's like, are you coming home tonight? And then she's all trying to be like, I don't care if you don't come home. It's totally fine. And Brooklyn's like, I'm here. So it's like, I'm close by, so it's fine. You can just stay by yourself or whatever. And then the daughter was like, ooh, but also like not telling her that she kind of misses her and she wants her mom back home. I thought it was really sweet. What else? Who else is there? There's one more character. Ooh, Queens. Okay. Here's the thing. I absolutely love the idea that she was an Indian character, like she's South Indian. I thought, in my personal opinion, like she was a fun character to read about, especially because she was like such a math nerd, and she was talking about all these equations and stuff in the book. And I thought, okay, when I was reading it, like physically reading it, I couldn't even read some of the signs because I kind of forgot what these math signs were. Haven't used them in a while, so I was like, what? But obviously, like the audiobook really said that, and I was like, thank you, because I didn't know how to say that. I just thought that she was brilliant, honestly. I just thought she was just so fun to see her as a character, even though she's a math nerd and I don't get it, but still. Just seeing her like that, just being herself, and she's not even, she doesn't like think that's a bad thing to be a math nerd. She's going to do her master's and stuff. I think that was really cool. She was just a student, so that was really nice because every other character was like pretty old, maybe like late 20s or even 30s or whatever. And also there is Bronx, who is like pretty old or whatever. But with Queens, she's only 25. So I was just like, that's cool. I really like that. She was only 25, and also people really loved her kind of being there. I thought she was a good character. But here's the thing. So there's this little thing of what the audiobook did, where it gave accents to pretty much all the characters. Some of them made sense to me because, like Sao Paulo, I get that he has a little thicker accent when he's talking English, but with Queens, it was told that Queens was in America or something like that since she was like 15 years old. She's 25 now, so she's been in America for 10 years, and she still had like a thick accent. And I was just like, not even one word she had like an American accent. Like, how did that happen? I was kind of curious to know because I feel like if you've been in a place where you always hear that one accent, it kind of gets to you, right? You just hear it and you kind of take it into you. So that was kind of weird, but still, I could differentiate the characters, so I was like, whatever. But I don't know, I just thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, but also Queen's aunt, I think her name is Aishwarya. I thought she was a fun character. Like she was kind of pissed at everyone, and she was like not having anything. So just her in general, I thought was just it was fun. I liked that. Mm, mm. This is not a huge scene exactly, but when everyone went to like recruit queens and they were at this neighbor's house, something happens, and you know how that whole what's it called? That white attack happened, and they were in the swimming pool and stuff. Right after that, like the lady was actually giving them like snacks and stuff. By the end of it, she didn't like want them there, so she was like trying to kick them out. And I thought that was really funny the way that she was doing it. She's just like not saying that you've been staying more than you're welcome, but at the same time, she wants them to get out. And I thought that was really funny to just see it that way, because she didn't want to be rude, but at the same time, she was like, "Get out! It's been way too long. You've overstayed your welcome. Get out now." Yeah, I thought that was funny. What else? Let's talk about White for a second. I thought she was hecka creepy because the first time she showed up, I think it was when with Manny, right? So she just like came through, um, in like the bridge area. She came through, I think. Yeah, and then Manny kind of escapes that whole situation, and then what happens is, she shows up when Manny is with his roommate, and and that point of time, it was just like this creepy thing where this woman turns into White as a person, and I was just like, that did not creep people out because that really creeped the crap out of me. I was just freaked out for quite a bit, and I loved that Manny's roommate was also transgender. In my opinion, like that was done so well. The way that he was talking about it later to Manny. He's like saying, "Okay, you knew about this. Like, how are you forgetting these things?" And he was for a second, he was like scared for himself, because he was like, "What if Manny just goes completely crazy?" Because when they were talking about the whole roommate agreement thing, Manny, as the old Manny, was not very happy about him being transgender. So he was like, I can maybe kick it out of you. And I was like, well, that's scary, right? This is coming from a straight woman, so I don't really know if it is like exactly like that, but I'm assuming that a lot of people face a lot of dangers because they are transgenders, transsexuals, or whatever. It's hard. It's going to be hard, and I like that it was represented in this book, even though it was like a pretty small scene, and we didn't really see that character again, which I was kind of disappointed with because I really liked that character. And it was just that little scene, couple of scenes really. He's from London, came over here, and I just thought he was just such a good character. I just wish he was there for a longer time because I thought it would have been a lot of fun with him. Yeah, but like just showing that representation through him as well, I thought it was really nice. It was not just about different races or ethnicities. It was also about different types of people and the way that they react and everything. And I just thought it was just well done with the characters. I really thought it was good. Yeah, I love that character. I just wish there was more of him. I hope there's more of him in the next few books because I would really love to actually see him. I made some bubble tea, so I'm having a lot of fun here. There was ooh, I know. So with Bronx, we are actually in the museum, and then she's in the scene where she goes to the washroom, and she's hears these creepy sounds, and someone's actually talking to her, and I was just like, oh my god, like, isn't that creepy? Like, what the heck? I was actually scared for Bronca for a second. I was just like, what is going on? I feel like she's gonna die pretty soon. um, at that point, I wasn't really sure like what was happening with these characters and stuff. So at that first moment, I was just like, maybe something's gonna happen to Bronca. She could potentially be like converted into being one part of White. And like I said, I was already so scared of White in general because she was super creepy. So I didn't know like what to expect out of that whole situation, because I was like, what if she's just straight up creepy and takes control of Bronca as well? Because Bronca seemed like a sweet character. And even though she was having like an argument with another person from that art museum place, she was still, she seemed like a sweet character. So I was like, I don't want anything to happen to her. She seems like a precious bean. And I was like scared for her, right? And then it was just badass to see how she like kicked in the door and then the whole White thing just left, sort of. But then there's like that little tendril, that little flower thingy that just sprouted out of the washroom, and I was just like, well, she's not dead. So that was really scary to me. I don't know, like the whole time I was like, oh my god, you need to go back and kill that little white tendril thing, because it was freaking me out. That I was just like, this character though, she is so freaking creepy. Like each time that she showed up as White, she, it, whatever, showed up, I was just like, should I be scared for all the people that's involved in here? And I know like they're technically not people, but like they're cities or like what's it called, boroughs or whatever. But still, I was just like, what? This is kind of creepy. Okay, now let me talk about Staten Island. Okay, so Staten Island, or Aislinn is how they pronounce it in the audiobook, I think. And let me tell you, when we started off with that character, like I genuinely felt bad for her because, well, she was emotionally abused and even like mentally abused, whatever, since she was a child. So I get like why she's pretty messed up and why she's thinking certain things in a certain way. She has no friends. I get it. But like she was so annoying. Like, what was wrong with you? Throughout the book, like I think we're obviously going to explore more about her as well in the rest of the books, but we see all these things that happens to her, and she meets with White, and White is befriending her, and I was like, no, this is not a good sign, because I was actually scared for everyone else. Like Staten Island, I was like, whatever, Aislinn, maybe she's just dumb right now, so she can like figure things out herself, but the rest of them are going to get into trouble just because of her. And I was just, I felt myself like freaking out for the rest of the characters, because like something is going to happen to them. So that kind of like freaked me out for a second, and was like, oh crap, she's like totally befriending her. And her dad's a cop, so the things that he's taught her, as in like, if you have darker skin, you are a horrible person, you can be a rapist, you can come there to like assault you in some way, you're a thief, you're not like a normal human being just because you have darker skin. And Aislinn has been taught that since she was a kid. And so she sees all these people of different races, she's like, nope, they're evil. And I was just like, this is something that is actually happening in the world, even though if it's probably not like mentally or emotionally abusing the kids, people have been taught that, and I was just like, that is a brilliant way to kind of portray it through another character, and she is a main character. So just seeing like her thought process was ridiculous. I don't think that's the right way to say that, but like, holy crap, like that happens in the entire world. And it was like, wow, okay, that was pretty well done in my opinion. I love that she was like freaked out pretty much the entire time. She didn't know what was going on, and she thought her real friend in this whole world, like the only friend she's ever had, is White. And the only reason she trusts White, and it has been told, is because she's White. There's no way a person who is that white and has like white hair and everything can be evil. And I just like, wow, okay, that's something that she truly, truly believes. And even if when Sao Paulo came through to like save her, I guess, to help her get out of Staten Island and help with the whole New York City situation, She's like, no, I'm not coming with you because, well, you look like a drug abuser. And it was like, okay. The one scene that I was like really into, it was again with Aislinn when she was with, I forget what his name was. So this person was like Aislinn's dad's friend or something, and she was kind of there like trying to be like, oh, I'm into you or something, and it was just like that is hella creepy. Like, what are you doing? That was kind of weird. And he was like, oh, your dad wants me to be with you, and I know that, so therefore, like, it's okay. Your dad wants this, so I'm gonna like sexually assault you right now. And Aislinn's like, what the heck is going on? Like, she was freaked out. She does not want this in any situation. And she was like, there's no way. You can like go to hell. And she like attacks him. But she kind of does something with his memories. And it seems like he thinks that he'd been attacked by a large person. Right? But I don't know how that memory was altered. Like, I don't get that. How did she do that? Like, Aislinn has this power of like kicking people out of the entire island. That I thought was cool, but I didn't understand like how she kind of made his whole memory different. How did he do that? Like, I was genuinely curious to know like how she did that whole thing, like turn his memory into something else. And even when he was talking to Aislinn's dad, he said that, right? He was like, oh, it's like a huge fan. And then she was saying, Aislinn was thinking like when they actually look at the footage, it's gonna be like a small woman or like just a small whatever happened, like just like a small person, right? And I thought that was cool. Like, it's a cool power, but like how did she have that power? Like, what is her power in its entirety? Like, I would love to know that as well. But yeah, she was there like right after that scene, she figures out that White doesn't really care about her, and she was like, I don't know if I trust you. And then White was like, I don't get it. Like, what happened? And then she's like, oh, sexually assaulted. Okay, I get it now. So listen, by the way, this is what happened. And she like kind of explains the whole situation, and it was just like, stop believing her. And then again, Aislinn was like, okay, she seems like a nice person just because she's white. And I was like, girl, no. Then Star Power comes through and is like almost like forcing her to go with her, and she like lashes her power out. So I guess like that's a cool power to have, like kick people out of their cities. I don't know, but like at the same time, I was just like, it was pretty cool. I like to see her as a character as well. She was pretty annoying. I hated that she kicked out all of those other boroughs. That whole part where everyone comes through, like Brooklyn, Bronx, and Queens came to, and Hong Kong too. So when they all came together to actually take Staten Island with them, I love that part. It was just like, it's like a standoff between White and these four people. I thought that was really cool to see because I didn't really expect everything to kind of implode at that point, because for a second I thought maybe, just maybe, Aislinn was going to be like, okay, these people might be more real. But again, she was the same. She was like, okay, they're all dark skinned. Again, at that point, White was able to like convince them that everything was like totally okay. Like, you should trust me instead of them. They want you to suffer. And I'm not like that. And I was just like, this woman is crazy. She's not even a woman. I don't know what she is, but like, I don't know what it is, but like, I just thought she was super creepy. I keep saying she because she's like the white woman kind of thing. And also the audiobook gave it a woman's voice. So that's why I was like, maybe. But whatever. Yeah. I love the fact that she actually tried to get into each of these cities by attacking one of them, you know? Not attacking, like, what is the right word? Recruiting one of them, you know, like kind of being with them and saying like, oh, you're my friend. I need you to be my friend. Like, I'm a good person. So she like kind of hit that sweet spot, that weak spot, and tried to manipulate it for her. And I thought that was just a brilliant idea. Like, I don't think anyone would have thought that she could have done that. But the fact that she actually did that was just pretty cool. I really love that she was trying to manipulate Aislinn into thinking like, okay, this is going to be perfect so that she can attack the rest of the boroughs and in the end basically break New York City. The other thing like I couldn't really understand, I guess, was what really happened to New York City. Like, why was it down that much? Because I get that one person cannot hold the entire city by themselves just because it's such a huge city, right? I understood that, but at the same time, it's like, how does this work? Because like, why were they separated like in the first place? Because you know how it's New York City as a whole. I'm just looking at the map quickly. So it's New York City as a whole, and we're seeing that there's Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Staten Island, and all of these people have to come together so that New York can be like whole as a person. But basically, the New York City part will eat all of these guys up. That's what I understood. I was like, wait, they're all gonna die in the end. So I thought it was gonna be wrapped up more in this book, but clearly not. Because you know what I thought this was gonna be more like? Like each of the books in the trilogy was gonna hold one person or like one, not one person, like one city. Right? So that's what I thought was going to happen. Like one city was going to be held in each of the books. But it doesn't look like it's going to be that. I feel like it's just going to be solely based on New York City, mostly. And it might have some other cities in the future, like I'm not sure. But right now, it still needs to talk a lot more about New York City because, like, it has a lot of. It's not plot holes because I know there's going to be more books, right? So I know it's going to be like more details about each of the characters are going to be there. I get that. But at the same time, I'm just like, there should be like more of a closure. I wish there was more of a closure because I needed to know more about them, you know? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I just need to know more about these people. Yeah, if it was just like a standalone, I get that it would have been such a plot hole. But for this instance, it was not a plot hole, but it was just something that I wish was explored a little bit more. I didn't think they did that completely, I guess. But obviously, there are other books that are going to talk about all of these things in the rest of the series, which I think would be really good. We kind of need that, right, to get the whole closure thing. What else? Oh, there was one thing I wanted to talk about. What was that scene? Oh, yes, Veneza. Okay, listen. Wasn't that super badass? I thought that was so cool. The whole time we have Veneza with Bronx. I keep forgetting it. Like Brooklyn and Bronx, I just keep confusing the both of them. Bronx or Bronca is the art director, I'm pretty sure. But like that scene, like each of the scenes of Veneza is there. I absolutely adore Veneza. I thought she was such a sweet character and I really adored her. Like she wanted to be a part of this whole thing, right? So in the beginning, like these creepy ass people are bringing all these artworks, and I was like, okay. And each of them was just like very racist or something. And then Bronca is like, this is disgusting. Like, what are you doing? And Vanessa kind of pulls her out of like getting into the stupor of getting into like an artwork. And I was like freaked out for Bronca too. So we can see that Vanessa can actually kind of see what Bronca is seeing too. So at that time, I was like, maybe some people can actually see it. And I only thought of it that way because we saw in the beginning that Manny's roommate was also able to see the white tendrils that were forming. So I kind of got it that way. So I was just thinking maybe she just kind of sees this whole thing just like Manny's roommate did, but it has nothing. Like nothing of importance is really happening, right? And I thought it was that. So the whole time I was just like, maybe Vanessa is just, I don't know, like just seeing things and that's it. Like she doesn't really have any powers. And I honestly expected it to be that way, right? But by a certain point it was just like, wait, what the heck? She saw all these things and she's being told about everything by Bronca, and I was just like, okay, listen, This is actually super creepy. Like just being a normal person and hearing that all of these weird things are real. I get how Vanessa was like freaked out. It made a lot of sense, and I was like, "Girl, I get it. Like I'm actually scared for everything that you're going to be witnessing." And I felt kind of bad for Vanessa because like she wanted to be a whole part of what Bronx doing. She understood. He's like a part of this whole thing, and I was like, okay, maybe you can, we'll see, but like for right now, save yourself, get out of this whole situation because it is hecka creepy. And Bronca does this thing, where she's like, I don't want to happen to you. Like I actually care about you, so like save your. And Ezra was like, but why? I want to stay. And it was told like I think when Ezra was supposed to be in her 20s, like I don't think she's that. Was one of the youngest or queens, like either one of them were the youngest. But we know for sure that Queens was 25. But when Ezra, we're not 100% sure, but I think she was pretty young too. And I was like, okay, that's really sweet. Like she wants to be there for Bronca. And then like the scene where like she's like, okay, fine, I'll leave. And she gets into her car, and there's this not dialogue, like there's this little scene where it's like something moved in the back of her car or like made a sound in the back of her car. And I was like, no, girl, run for your life. We don't know what happened to Vanessa at that point, right? And I was like, I was totally scared for Vanessa. I didn't know what was going to happen to her. I wanted her to be safe because, like I said, I absolutely adored Vanessa. I thought she was a really fun character, a really sweet character. I wanted the best for her, and to see like something might have happened to her, I was just actually genuinely scared for her. Yeah, and we don't really see what happens to her. And then once we get to Staten Island, when all the four are trying to save her, White is trying to again manipulate everything and the whole situation. And we see Vanessa is like in a mouth of some creature. Like, what was that? Was that not creepy to you? Like, holy crap, that scared the crap out of me. I was just staring at like the whole scene. I was like, what is that? Like, why are there teeth? Like, what is this thing? I understand like it was supposed to be like the white entity is supposed to be like a whole other city, like a creepy world city, but okay, it gives like a stranger dreams, stranger things, right? Stranger things, right? Yeah. So Stranger Things vibe. So it's like the upside down world or whatever. So I felt that, but like in a more creepier sense, right? And I was just like, okay, maybe that's kind of a city like that. That made perfect sense. But at the same time, like, like, what is the city? If they come into New York and they're like depositing themselves in New York, like, what happens to New York City? Like, other than it gets obliterated. Like, what happens to all the people? They all die, I'm assuming, but like, does everything get written off in history? Because there is this thing about another city where it gets wiped off, and people were like, no, it's just imagination, like that city never existed in the first place. Would that happen to the rest of New York City? Like if New York City gets erased, would that happen to New York City? Like I was kind of curious to know what that was about. That was like a little confusing, but I wanted to know like if the whole city gets erased because of White and her city, what would happen to New York City? Would people forget about the city and its existence in its entire form? Like I didn't get that part. Also, another thing that I was kind of curious about was if White is one type of entity that actually exists. She says that she was like one of the nicest of her type of people. And I was like, there's definitely going to be more of these things. So are they also like trying to take over each of the cities, like different cities? Is that a thing that could happen? Like, I want to know that. Like, are these different entities going to be there? Like, it's not just going to be this White character. It might be some other people too. And I wanted to know, like, if this is something that happens a lot more. I just wish that was explained a little bit more. I guess that was not super important. but like I still got piqued with my interest. I wanted to know like what that was about. But clearly they didn't want to talk more about that, so they didn't, I guess. Yeah. So we are talking about what were we talking about? Like Staten Island, right? And like once they get kicked out of the island because of Aislinn, we are kicked out, and I don't know where we got to. I think it was like closer to where New York City is. The city was actually there, and at that point we're just like trying to figure out like what happened. Aislinn is a bitch. And we're like trying to figure out like what's gonna happen, and Vanessa is actually there, so that's great. But like, how did Vanessa get there? Well, I guess like the White actually said like, if you get out of the city, I will set her free. Otherwise, she's gonna die in this monstrosity's mouth or something. Again, super creepy, don't you think? Because I thought it was hella creepy. Yeah. So they get out, and then Vanessa is basically like, I can't be left alone because clearly this thing is going to attack me as well because it doesn't want you guys to win. And they kind of take Vanessa with them to get to the city place. And we see the whole thing through Manny's place, through Manny's eyes, I guess. And, oh God, I'm choking. I'm good. Okay, so we see things through Manny's eyes, and the whole situation was like, he's kind of, it seems like he's infatuated almost with the city. Like he knows the city from somewhere. And I don't get like how he knows the city. Maybe that's just part of his power, like I said earlier, but it didn't make perfect sense, like how he knew the city and why he was like so attached to the city, and no one else had that connection. Although they were like all supposed to be a part of this whole city. Like I don't get it. Like why was only Manny so into this city character? Like I don't get it. Like I just did not understand that part. And once they get there, we see Sao Paulo is trying to like save them, help the city or whatever, and they come to the conclusion that Vanessa can actually help because everyone usually says they're from New York, but except Vanessa, even if they're like close by the city, they're just like, okay, we're from New York City, even if they weren't really. So Vanessa is the only person who never said that for some reason. She was just like, I'm not from the city. And they came to a conclusion that she was Jersey City. And I was like, how did you come to that conclusion? I don't get it. Like I actually listened to it and I was like, wait, that what? And then I had to actually read it. And I still didn't get like how they came to that conclusion. Like, how did you know that she was going to be helpful in this situation? Like, I don't get that part. I would have loved to know that. Maybe in the future books, again, we'll explore more of the characters, but right now it's like kind of confused a little bit too much because I didn't know what the heck happened really. I would have loved to know like how they came to that conclusion exactly because my brain did not comprehend that whole situation. But I loved that scene where Vanessa was like, I'm Jersey City, baby. And I was like, oh, dang, that is so cool. Wait, I want to find that. Can I actually find it? Let's see. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Oh, no, okay. Vanessa, so like Bronca asked Vanessa, like, what are you, young bee? And she was also grinning, and Vanessa laughs, tilts her head like she's kind of drunk, and she's like, I'm Jersey City, goddammit. And I was like, I'm excited. So I get like how all of these people came together to bring the city together, right? And okay, kind of in the epilogue sort of thing, there is this whole talk about the coda. Is it the coda? Yeah. So it says I lived the city, and then they're like, never liked Coney Island. What? So what is this? Like, what was that prologue? Not prologue, epilogue. Like, I don't. I have confusion. What happened in that epilogue? Because I was just like, I want to know what happened, like how these people got together and everything's like perfectly okay. Not perfectly okay, but like it seems like everything is okay. but what is the coda? Like, what does that mean? And the whole time they're just like, Sao Paulo is about to leave, and then the city person is like sad that Sao Paulo is leaving, but also Manny is like infatuated and looking at the city. Like, do you have a relationship? Like, is that thing gonna happen, or like, did the city kind of know Sao Paulo in some way? And I know that the older cities are supposed to help the younger cities, and New York City is the younger one. So I get that, but I was like, why are you looking at him like you're being betrayed for your entire life, and you're just like, why are you leaving me, Sao Paulo? Don't do this. And I was like, why? Why? That's just, I don't get it. Like, what was your history? Is there a history? I want to know that. But they were not talking about much history, and I was just like, maybe in the next books, guys. That's what I thought. Like, because the end was like super quickly wrapped up. The whole time I was just like, maybe there's more. There should be more, because not everything has been talked about, and I wanted to know more about it, and it didn't make perfect sense to me. So I really just wanted to know more about it. And the like I said, the epilogue, I don't get it. I feel like, is the city in HP like Coda? Okay, I have never. Okay, you have Rachel. You're smart. I don't get it. I don't know what that is. I should probably read more books. Clearly, H.P. Lovecraft was famously racist, so I think that's why it is the city embodied by the woman in white. Oh, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah, but like I was confused. I just didn't know like why all these things are happening. So I was just like, maybe like she's just weird. I don't get it. Um, yeah, maybe like in the next few books we'll get more of the history of all of these characters and we'll figure out what's going on. But right now, I just feel like I needed a little bit more, and it would have been a total 5 stars. I just felt like the ending was just so quick with Jersey City kind of showing, like Vanessa showing up as Jersey City was just like done like that. I just wanted to know more about that whole situation, and I didn't get that, so I was just like, maybe into the later books we'll get more like details. So at this point, I did notice you, Rachel. Hi. Yeah. So at this point, I'm just like, I don't know. Wait. She said something else. Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't notice you. I'm sorry. I think it was. I think it would maybe be absorbed into the. I can't read. Oh my god. I think it would maybe be absorbed into the H.P. Lovecraft city, maybe just in spirit, because the pervasive racism. Listen, that would actually be cool. I feel like I should actually read more of that person's book, but I haven't. Should I? Like, you said it was racist, and I was like, should I be supporting? But they're dead, aren't they? I'm very smart, guys. I'm so smart. Anyway, um, what was I talking about? Aislinn. Again, like Aislinn is just, she's a dumb character, man. Like, just because of her, the white entity was actually able to exist in this world still. And that's kind of creepy. It's still there. It's not gone completely. And even though it's not super powerful like it was before, it's still there. So there's a chance that it can still sprout its white things and get to other people and places. And that freaks me out. I don't know how to sleep at night, clearly, because I'm just like, what is this? I don't like that white thing. It's on everyone. It's on their necks like an antenna. And I'm just like, why? That's creepy. But like honestly, the standoffs between each of the characters with White was just, I loved it. It was really fun to actually see it, and also everyone was getting their asses kicked, which was also a lot of fun to see. But yeah, overall, I just thought it was really fun to read the entire book. And I know, like, I think I saw somewhere one of the people were talking about how because of these plot holes, they were not a huge fan of the whole book in its entirety. And I was just like, that's sad, but like, I really enjoyed it. And I'm just like waiting for the next few books. I just want them to come out soon, just because I want to know what happened. But I feel like I enjoyed this a lot more than the 5th season, because 5th season I was just genuinely confused the whole time. But this one I felt like I was able to understand the whole world. It was very complex, but at the same time it was just done so well. I think Manny's just supposed to embody that new New Yorker feeling of like, wow, I'm in New York, I'm a New Yorker now, that a lot of people get when they first move to New York. Yeah, I get that, but at the same, like, his whole memory gets erased, right? I want to know like what happened to his himself, like in the past, because we have like scenes where we were talking about Manny and he was like a violent person. What was he like in the past? I'd like to know that. And also, I guess that's probably also why he's like really into New York City as a whole. Like, he just wants to be the first person to save them. I don't know. I thought that was like, it's kind of not weird. Like, is that his only power? Like, he really is connected with New York City and that's it? Is that it? I don't know. Everyone has this specific power. I just don't know what Manny's exactly is. And it's like, is that just his power? That's it? Keeping him safe, keeping New York City safe. If that's it, like, I would like. That's okay, because I figured that out and was like, wait. Yeah, so that's that. Because okay, with Bronx, no, yeah, with Bronx we have the art gallery. She can actually talk to the arts thing. With Brooklyn, we have the rapper tapping noises thingy, where she like walks and like the music kind of rolls out of her and White is being attacked. With Queens, she's like a mathematician kind of a thing. She's great with math and she like destroys everything because with her math skills, she jumps out of a window with her math skills. Like, what? And Staten Island kicks people out of her island. Like, I don't know what her power is either. And then we have Manhattan, who is like super into New York City as a whole, and he's like, I will save you with my whole body. Okay. I will save you with my whole life, like I'll do anything for you kind of a situation. And although he was like, I get like what he is like, I'm just like, isn't that a bit weird? I thought it was. What else? There was Vanessa. We don't really know anything about Vanessa, like her powers, right? I'd really love to know that too. The whole thing was just like, Vanessa is there, she's Jersey City now, but like, I don't know why people don't really like Jersey City. It gave that kind of a vibe. People don't like Jersey City, and I was like, why? I don't get it. Like, I'm not from America, so I don't know. But I was just like, do people not like Jersey City? Is that the whole point of this? Like, I don't know. Like, what is her power too? Like, she can actually see the art thing, just like Bronca, but like, what is her whole power? Like, I want to know, like, what is her power? And I guess again, like, it will be revealed in the rest of the series, and I want to know now, like, what is this? Because I have this feeling like it's going to be one of those YA type of trilogies where you have the first book, which is like giving you all the plot points, and then the second book is just like a filler type of a book, and the third you wrap up everything. And I don't know if I love that whole idea. There's so many comments. Oh, hold on. I wonder if N.K. Jemisin will tell us that. I kind of saw each city avatar as a caricature of the borough that basically takes over their personality to some degree. I get that. So that's what I thought too. Like, each borough is kind of like taking the entire personality of the people as a whole and just kind of bringing it into that city's embodiment, I guess. And I figured it was like that. And it made sense, right? Each of the character has like a groove to them that's talking about that borough, city, I don't know. And I thought that was cool. And I think that's what N.K. Jemisin was trying to show, but I'm not 100% sure if that was the case or not. Yeah. But especially with Manny, because becoming a New Yorker in real life often takes over people's lives and they immediately consider themselves New Yorkers first and everything else second. Okay. That makes sense, because I can totally see why Manny would be like, I am New York now, essentially. I'm the biggest part of New York. Wait, where is Manhattan, though? I don't know. Hold on. I also didn't care for Manny. I liked him in the beginning, because I thought, like, it was fun to see, like, what happened to him in this past. I thought, like, they were going to explore Manny to a little bit more and just see like what happened in his past. But it wasn't really important, I guess, so they were not really talking much about Manny, and that kind of disappointed me because I wanted to know more about him. But then it kind of completely turned as like I am basically New York now, so he's like only talking about New York, and I didn't get like his whole character after that. So the first, I want to say at least 25 to 50% of the book, I actually liked Manny, and after that, he was just like he felt like he was nothing more than the city. Like the city was him, and there was nothing else to his personality, if that made sense. And jumping out of a window with Matt made no sense. And right, I was confused. Like she kind of floated. It seemed like I'm like, how did you? Even if you knew Matt that well, how are you floating through the air and you like reached the pool, which was like floors down? Like, how did you do that? And I think Aishwarya, if I'm not wrong, her aunt actually saw a part of it and was like, what the heck? And like she was trying to like grab the kids out of the pool, and the kids are like, you're attacking me, like what the heck are you doing here? So it was like they're neighbors. So she like jumped out of her story or whatever, and then like she falls by flying. She gets to the pool. That means she like crossed the whole like barrier to get to that place. And I was just like, how did you do that? Like in my head, it was a full house. This was a house, and this was like a not a townhouse, like a full-on normal like storied building. So she jumped from here to there, and I'm just like, how did you do that with math? Makes no sense. Like if she was like a physics genius or something, maybe physics, right? I get it, but like how? No, most people don't like why though? I don't get it. The whole time I was just like, did people not like Jersey City? Is that why like in the end there's like I'm Jersey City? And I'm like, isn't that cool? Like I was like, oh, that's like such a cool reveal. And they're like, it just felt like people hated Jersey for some reason. I thought he was okay at the beginning, and then was like, huh, I really like Bronca. I like Bronca too. I think she is like a very mature character. Obviously, she's a lot older than the rest of the characters, but her as a character, she was badass. She like stopped those people from bringing the creepy art into her museum. Also, the creepy art. What I was thinking with the creepy art was that maybe White had like little tidbits in it. So like when Bronca puts the art up in the museum, the whole museum will be attacked by White's things from her paintings or whatever. Because that's what I thought. And I was just like, okay, so it makes sense that she's not okay with this whole painting situation and wants that to get out. It made sense that way, right? And I just thought Bronca was just a badass character. And also she kicked the White thing out of the washroom stall. And I was like, yes, she's a queen. I absolutely adored her. The rest of them, like, I get it. Like, I didn't really love all the characters all that too much. Queens, I just felt like was math genius, cool, but like at the same time, like, how are you doing math to like save things? I don't get it. And yeah, Staten Island was just too whiny to me. Also, just FYI, a lot of people consider Manhattan to be New York City itself, even though it's much bigger because Manhattan is the hub of big businesses, tourist attractions. That I knew. So I get like why New York City is like why Manhattan is considering himself like, oh, I'm New York City now or something like that, and is like really close to the New York City figure, I guess. And I get that, but at the same time, I'm just like, why are you trying so hard? I didn't understand like the infatuation at first, but like it makes sense, right? Because everyone thinks when they see Manhattan, they're like New York City, but New York City is a lot more bigger than just these boroughs, if I'm not wrong, because it's like a huge city in of itself. Just a lot of these boroughs are talked about more than anything else, really. So I get it. Bronca had morals. That's so true. Because like she was really fighting for it. She did not want that to be there, and she almost even lost her position as the art director person. And I was like, if she lost her job, I felt like fighting for her. I was like, wow, she really, truly cares about everything. And obviously the shareholders, being business people, they're just like, we care about money. That's pretty much it. We don't care like about the whole museum because it doesn't make sense to us. Like whatever, just get the money. There's a lot of money to waste. And I was like, I get it. As like a business student, I get it, but at the same time, I'm just like morals, which only Bronca clearly has. What? There's something else. What was that? You know how in the end too, there was this part where everyone's like together now and they're like best of friends. Until that very second, they all kind of hated each other. They did not want to hang out with each other, especially Bronx and Brooklyn. They did not want to be together. Like they just kind of hated each other from the get-go. And then suddenly in that last epilogue, they were just like buddy buddy with each other. And I was just like, how did that happen? I'm really curious. Like how quickly did that happen? And how are you all friends now? Even like Queens is like chilling with them, laughing with them. And I was just like, I get it. Like you went through like a almost traumatizing event, but like how are you so buddy buddy with each other? I'd like to know. Like what was the backstory of that? But I guess like now that they've been through this whole traumatizing situation, they kind of became friends. I get it. Also, Hong. Hong is just like the smallest character, but I like that he was introduced. I thought he was just like straightforward, telling you with everything with no BS, and he just really just went forward and told you you were just being pretty dumb. And I liked that about him. I just thought he was like a fun character to have around. I just wish there was more to him. Obviously, like he's part of Hong Kong, so like he doesn't necessarily need to be in New York City other than trying to help everyone get there, like get to the New York City saving progress thingy. But like, yeah. Ooh. How am I not seeing these things? I wish Queens had been a bit more characterized beyond doing math and moving to Queens, because I just didn't get a lot more out of her than we heard about in the first like 5 minutes of her being introduced. That's so true. Because it's told that she's been living in Queens like since she was 15 or so, and she's 25 now. And it's like she has no other characterization. She's like, I'm not even from here. Like, I don't know anything about the city. But you've been here for like 10 years. You don't know anything about the city? Really? And you have nothing more than just like, I'm a math nerd. In school, people bullied me because of my math nerdness. I'm nerdiness? I don't know. Anyway, like she was just talking about the fact that she knew math, and that's it. Like there's nothing more to her. I just wish there was a little more to her as well, but like it wasn't there. I didn't see it. I want to see more characterization. I mean, yeah, I get it. I totally get that. I just wish she was definitely a lot more than what she was represented as. Maybe in the next few books we might get something more about her, but I just don't think we'll get a lot more. New Yorkers probably try too hard, but I'm still standing New York, the actual city. New York, the actual city, like, okay, there's, you know how the scene was basically like he was in this train station and everything goes dark and something starts attacking Manny. But what happens? Like, I wish there was also more about like what happened to Manny, like how was he attacked properly? And I felt like I didn't really get it, you know? I don't know if that makes sense. To be honest, I zoned out at the end of the book because nothing made sense. See, like I was not the only one, but especially with Jersey City coming through, I thought that was a cool scene, but I just didn't understand like how they came to that conclusion she was Jersey City. That didn't make sense to me. And I felt like it was wrapped up too quickly, because even if it was like 100 pages shorter, they could have wrapped it up in a way that made more sense for the next few books. But for right now, it's just like, boom, I'm Jersey City, so I'm here to also kind of embody New York City as a whole, and we can save New York City. I was just like, how did you do that? That doesn't make sense to me right now. I don't know. Like the ending could have been done a little better, but overall as a book, I did enjoy it. So I'm not gonna say like I didn't like it, because I give it like 4.5 stars or so. So I'm like, it's fine. I really enjoyed it, but at the same time, like I just wish there was a little bit more to it, if that makes sense. I put too much sugar in this. Yeah, I just think Aislinn is pretty dumb. I don't like her as a character. She was racist as heck. And I get it that it was because of her dad, but at the same time, she's trusting White, who's clearly super creepy, and no one else can see her, and she's still trusting her. And I'm just like, well, I mean, oh. Wait, what would you say before? Let me go back to it. I need to probably try to. Oh, yeah, you did say the actual city. I'm just stupid. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. New York City, like I've been a few times and I like it. It's really pretty. So it's very busy. That's the only thing. Like I know if I moved to New York, I'd be such an obnoxious New Yorker. I get that. Like I feel like everyone would be that because there's already like a standard that you kind of need to get to. And especially if you're from like the city, you need to like dress up or whatever. Like when you see it in movies, at least for me, it's the movies, but all these people look so dressed up and so fashionable. Like they're from LA kind of a look to them. Like they're all super busy. Yeah, I just didn't understand anything in this book pretty much. Guess my rating. 2.5 to 3 stars at tops. Is that it? Or like more? I'm getting the vibe that you didn't like the book at all. So I would say like 2.5 stars, 2 stars. Is that what it is? Wow, a lot of people really didn't like this book. I really enjoyed it for like at least 75% of it. And then it just went downhill. So at first I was like, it's gonna be total 5 stars. I was super excited. And then towards the end I was like, ooh, well, I guess not. Maybe if you're considering like the whole series once it's done, it might be overall 5-star rating, but like just as this one book right now, and I'm only judging this one book right now, I don't see it as a 5-star. It could be like close, maybe for me, it's like close to like 4.5 to 5, like somewhere in between, or maybe 4 to 4.5. I don't know, but like it's okay. It's not a bad book. I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say I didn't, because especially the audiobook like really saved it for me. So yeah. Yes, as in 2 or 2.5. Wait. What was the guess for? Just watch me choke in the middle of the live show with bubble tea. I made bubble tea. I'm happy. I don't know if Rachel's still typing, but I'm just like creepily waiting here. Actually, one more thing. You know how we needed like 5 cities to get together and then save everything? So it just, I don't know. For some reason, I felt like it was like a convenience thing that Jersey City came out of nowhere. Sort of. Like, I just felt like it was out of convenience because Aislinn was clearly a little crazy. So it was like out of convenience. They're like, okay, we have Jersey City. We're safe now. So like, maybe. I gave it a just barely 3 stars, rounded up for. I kind of get that, but I genuinely like that she's trying to represent a lot of different cultures as well. It's not just like white people, black people, and that's it. There's a lot more because it's New York City where everyone's kind of involved. So she shows through every single type of different people that could potentially be in New York City. Like we talk about Queens and she's like, I'm not even from New York. She says that, right? She's technically not even from New York. She's not a citizen of America. That's kind of mentioned. And she's also still Queens. And I thought it was fun, you know? I'm going to please teach us to make bubble tea. You get bubbles. Tapioca pearls from like an Asian grocery store. Make the bubbles. And make a brown sugar bubble tea because I apparently love sugar and I'm just like really hyped up right now. I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm 40 seconds behind on the live. That's okay. I'm glad you were able to join at least. Oh god, so much sugar. Okay, I think that was all that I wanted to talk about. I went on a rant for like more than an hour, and I'm sure everyone has other things to do in their lives, and I have to study. So I'm gonna wrap it up right now. I did like the book. I thought it was a lot of fun, and yeah, I still had a lot of fun with it, especially because of the audiobook. Okay, question. Why did they need 5 cities? Jersey City seems so convenient, but also the idea of self-sacrifice came out of nowhere. Right, okay. Before I go. Okay, so Jersey City came out of nowhere. I don't know why she came out of nowhere, because like it genuinely felt like convenience. And also Hong Kong said that the hold on, choking totally. Okay, Hong Kong said that she like they had to sacrifice themselves, right? So if they're saving New York City as a whole, all these other 5 cities, right? The 5 cities or boroughs or whatever are going to get destroyed. And I thought that was going to happen. Like nothing happened to them. So what was the whole point of like you're going to sacrifice yourself? You're all going to die. Like what happened there? It didn't make sense to me. And obviously, like Jersey City came out of nowhere, and it needed to be like 5 cities. From my understanding, it was like you need 5 cities to be strong, right? If you don't have 5 cities, New York City can't hold itself up, and you can't really connect or like touch New York City. You know how when they were trying to go to New York City, the person who was like in the train station, none of them could actually touch them because I guess there wasn't enough people touching them together, I guess. But to me, it was like, okay, maybe they all went together and then we just like grabbed New York City or something like that and worked. But it didn't make sense to me. How again, like how did Jersey City come out of nowhere? So was the point of Staten Island like there was no use to Staten Island in the first place? She was just kind of there for white to survive, I guess, and just yeah, it just came out of nowhere. I don't know why that happened. So I just understood that there needs to be 5 cities for New York City as a whole to survive. But I was under the understanding every one of those 5 cities would basically die, but nothing happened to them. So I don't get that. Yeah, like I actually enjoyed the atmosphere, the true sense of diversity, the audiobook sound effects, which added a lot to the story. I did. The sound effects were just like really cool, especially the creepy sound effects. Oh yeah, like ooh, okay, that was creepy. Why did I do that sound? I don't know. But yeah, I thought the audiobook was really well done. I just wish it was a full cast. That's the only one like little thing that I didn't like about it. But other than that, it was just such a well done production as a whole. And definitely, like if I'm going to read the rest of the books, it's going to be as an audiobook for sure. Because I think that would make more sense. It would be more interesting and fun to read it that way. Yeah. Yeah, Jersey City was just like a convenience thing. I didn't like that she just threw it up out of nowhere. It was fun to see that. I was like, whoa, that's cool. But like, how did you get there? What was the point? What was the point of Staten Island? Like, other than the fact that she was there to save white. Didn't make sense to me. I didn't like that. Okay, now that you're making me about all this what? Now that you're making me talk about all these things, I feel like my rating is gonna go lower. Rachel, stop it. Yeah. All right. I think that is pretty much it. I am on a sugar high right now, so I'm gonna probably end it right now. It's been a good 1 hour, 15 minutes almost of me ranting for a while. So thank you for joining me. Thanks for talking about it. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for listening to me rant for so long. Full cast would have been amazing. Yes, I know. I really wish that would have happened because you could have heard different voice. It would have been so good, but like, it's fine. It's fine. It's totally cool. Yeah. Thank you for joining me again. I will see you guys next month with another live show. It's going to be 2 different books. We have 2 different live shows. One is for, I should probably look it up because I forgot. Oh my God. What was it? I don't even know what books I'm reading. Black Flamingo. The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta is going to be in the end of October. And also the City of Brass by S.C. Chakraborty is also going to be on the same day. Also, let me know if you would like to like co-host with me or something. That would be fun to do, I guess. So yeah, that is it from me. I hope you are all having a good day. I'll see you next time with another video. Bye. Yeah.